Hey everybody, we got Brandon behind the camera and we're going to show you our new studio here and slash guest house. So if you come and be on our podcast, this is where you will be staying. It's kind of empty right now, but we was blessed to get this location right next to my house, and a friend of ours that we know real good, she took a job on somewhere else and she just don't want anybody that'll mess her house up and rent it. And so she blessed us with the house because she knew we'd take better care of it than anybody else would. But as you can see, it's empty right now. So this is the guest house part. Obviously, just like any regular house. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And this is the master bathroom, which I plan on putting a jacuzzi right there. And then obviously we'll have furniture in here. And you can see the view of the mountains for miles away. Another thing I plan on doing is putting our sheep. I'm going to fence that in right there and put our sheep right there at that pond. So don't go in there because the curtains fail. Shower curtain. All right, let's get to the good part. It'll look a whole lot better. We do have a commercial kitchen. That's pretty awesome. And this right here is where Brandon will be living the rest of his life.
I hope not.
You can see our new satellite systems outside. But this right here is going to be our podcast room. And we're going to put this together with fold-out tables because we may have 2 people sitting around. We may have a round table. So the easiest thing for us to do is have fold-up tables and sit up whichever way we want to. But we just wanted to show you what we was planning on doing. Just like I said, I know one thing we got to do is we're going to put a rug in here because it's got a bad echo. That's weird how the rest of the house didn't have it, and you walk into this room and it did.
That's right.
But we're gonna call people in, fly them in, and do interviews with them here. Let them spend a weekend with us or a few days with us out here in the Ozarks, and that's our plans. And here in just a second, I'm gonna give you the updates on the fast. All right, folks, here we are, and we're gonna give you an update on a few different things that we found out about our health by going to visit what we're going to say? The blood man? The blood guy?
A blood technologist? I don't know.
Yeah, expert.
Expert.
Now, I'm going to tell you some crazy stories that you're probably not going to believe, but you can verify it. Happened to me. It happened to him. And so I had a couple friends of mine tell me about this guy that's here in the Ozarks that will test your blood. And they was telling me stories about him. And he said, well, one friend of mine, he said, this guy asked him, when did you have surgery? And he said, man, I've never had surgery. And he said, well, you've had surgery around your belly button somewhere. And the guy, he said, man, it's been 40 years ago, I had a hernia fixed. So by reading, me and Brandon seen this personally. So he knew that this man had a surgery in this area by looking at his blood. So the next friend of mine that suggested us that we went to see this guy, he said, when's the last time you had x-rays? And the guy said, man, I hadn't had x-rays and I don't know when. He said, well, if you ain't had x-rays, you're an electrician. And sure enough, that's my electrician that gave me the resignation to go over there, recommendation.
Recommendation, yeah.
So with me, he started testing my blood and told me that I had damage in this area right here, which I had a infection in my spine, which has probably been now 7 years ago. So go ahead and tell him what he said about you.
Yeah, and I think before I tell that, it's the craziest thing to me is that this was all from one drop of blood.
Yep.
From a fingertip. And he said it didn't really matter where the blood came from as long as it was a round drop you let it sit for 30 seconds, and it kind of separates like sedimentary layers.
Yep.
And it would separate into layers, and he would dab it
8 times.
8 times, and he could tell the part of the body from each of the layers as they settled. So that blew my mind. But I'm convinced because
Because we've seen it live.
Yeah. So with mine, what happened? He went through each one of my layers, and he said he counted like he was looking at something, but it's just a drop of blood. And he counted. He said, "It looks like 1, 2, 3 ribs down. You had some serious inflammation on this side." And then on the other side, he said, "It looks like 6 ribs down, and I had some broken ribs." And I'm like, from one drop of blood.
From one drop of blood.
And all I can say is, I guess every drop of blood eventually makes it through every cell and somehow picks up a memory. But
it was crazy how the first drop was the head.
Yeah.
And then the second drop was this area.
Right.
Then,
it would kind of go down.
He could tell if you had problems. He could tell that my wife had knee surgery.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely crazy that you can tell that. But what's really crazy is looking at your blood on in a microscope. He puts it on a screen for you, and you can sit there and see your blood alive.
Yeah.
So my blood was all sticking together, and he told me exactly what I needed. He said that's the reason that I'm tired all the time, and he was telling us what we was missing. Now, this guy does not sell vitamins. He does not sell any prescriptions. He is doing it out of the kindness of his heart to do this. And the man, from what I understand, does need no money. So basically, this is his passion to help people. And even to the point of where he has had people say that they have, I don't want to say cured, but autism in children. It's incredible what this man has done that is not a doctor. He is a blood specialist, and we are 100% convinced, ain't you? That so what I done is the last video, I said I was going to do a fast, and I'd already called and tried to get an appointment with this gentleman, and he's almost 80 years old and probably in better health than me and you both.
Okay.
And he was at least 20 days or almost 30 days behind. So I called and left him a message and said, "Look, I can come in anytime you want me to. We want to go in together." And because I was going to start a fast the next day. I was going to start a fast 2 days later. And so he made me an appointment. I called Brandon and said, "Come on." And we asked him if we could film anything. And he said, "No, I don't want to get anything filmed, but you can take pictures." So I've got some pictures here of the blood, how he tested it. And the man's not doing anything illegal. Let me get that perfectly clear. But if you knew what this man knew about all natural healing, it could really make some hospitals and insurance companies very angry.
Right.
But we're going to go over what he gave. I think most of this you got too, right?
Most of it. I got a little more than you did.
Okay, so let's just read. You read over that paper. Brandon didn't bring his, and he can tell you what we was told. And then let me tell you this: I've been on an 8-day fast, and I have a protein shake in the morning, and then I take these, and then I might drink a little bit of. I try to drink a gallon of water a day, and I can't say that I ain't hungry, but I went further than I ever have before. The last time was 6 days, and how I remember it, I was in some place that I shouldn't be in, probably on January 6th. But
yeah, don't talk about that.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and you go over this.
And to clarify, you're on day 8.
I'm on day 8.
Day.
I'm on day 8 of a 40-day fast.
Right.
And I have lost 10 pounds exactly, and have not used my teeth. Did you brush your teeth? Or any reason to?
I did. So I was in the woods, but I had a tube of toothpaste.
I got you.
I just used spring water.
Yeah, I was just joking. I didn't know if you had to brush your teeth, you don't use them anyway.
Yeah, my breath probably got pretty bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So there's a whole lot of things on his list that he correlates, and like you were talking about with the autism.
Yep.
I've always suspected that heavy metals building up in the brain and things like that might be caused, and we all can suspect what that might have come in from, but we can't talk about it.
That's right.
Can't talk freely about it. But anyway, there is some things on there like L-carnosine that is, supposed to remove the heavy metals from the brain. It can actually pull those things out through the blood-brain barrier, and then it will flush out through normal methods. So L-carnosine, not carnotine, is good for that heavy metal cleanse. He had that more than I did, but yeah. So let's show
That's
that
this one right here.
Yeah, this is just from Now Foods, and that's L-carnosine, 500 milligrams. And then he and I both had this liquid gold from Nature's Plus. And by the way, we're not pitching things. We're just telling you
That's right.
what kind of overcomes these things for vitamin and mineral deficiencies. He got the let's see. He got the tablets. I got the liquid, and I don't know if there's a big difference, but the liquid tastes horrible.
The tablets are like horse pills.
Yeah.
They're huge, and you got to take 3 of them. Mm. You can see how big it is.
Can you taste them when they?
You don't want?
Not without water. So I don't know which is better, but I can
actually stomach these.
I actually take the liquid gold as a shot. You just take the cap off, pour it in a cap full. It's a big cap though, and I take that as a shot, and I mix it in with the trace mineral drops. And these are for just general maintenance throughout the day of your trace minerals.
And that is nasty.
And this is...
He says put 20 drops
yeah.
a day on your tongue, but I mix it in with my shake in the morning, and then I'll kill it at night.
Yeah, this by itself could be the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life.
Yeah.
When you mix this in with the liquid version of the Liquid Plus Gold, that wins. That is the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. And I've been taking 1 shot of that every day. It probably
So you just put 20 drops in it, with that?
I've been I think I worked up to like 30 or 40 drops.
Really?
Yeah. Plus the cap full of that other stuff.
I have to say, for me not to have any food, I feel absolutely excellent. I knew if I could get over the first couple of days that I believe I could knock it out. Now, a little different. One thing I do want to cover on this, I'm not doing a complete 100% all water, because the 3rd day in, my sugar dropped below 100. Mm-hmm. And that's not dangerous, but I wanted, on the 3rd day in, that's when I drank a shake, mm-hmm. a protein shake, simply because I didn't want to take the risk of me being a diabetic, mm-hmm. Of going too low.
Right.
So,
but you've already proven, like a lot of people will tell me they don't even want to fast 1 day because they've been diagnosed pre-diabetic.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that's a lie. I believe what we're doing right here would shut down every hospital in the world. And that's the God's honest truth, because this man does not sell anything. Matter of fact, he made a point to my wife that that he had these sitting on the shelf as a display so you could take pictures of them. So you made sure you bought the right thing, but he would not sell anything. Mm-hmm.
And even the 2 hours he spent, it was a pretty reasonable price.
Oh yeah, real reasonable.
Yeah.
And I've never been any place like this before. Basically, you sit down. He told you a couple of jokes. He can see more than one person at a time. He done mine first, and he done Brandon's, and both of us has had injuries in our past. And he was like a psychic, mm-hmm. to the point of, how did you know that? Because he intentionally does not ask you what's wrong with you, mm-hmm. or anything beforehand. He just comes in, you dab your blood, and then he tells you exactly, you've been tired, weak, grain fog. Mm-hmm. he can sit there and look at that blood and tell you every single symptom that you've got, and that absolutely blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And he nailed you and me both.
Oh yeah.
You know, and my wife,
Yeah.
and everybody I've seen that went there. But
Mm-hmm.
we just want to give you updates. What else you want to add to this?
So the other thing was the oil of oregano, which I don't see over here, but the Candida support.
Yeah.
We bought that, the Candida support, because Tim and I both had some yeast and leftover fungus overgrowth in the bowels, and he could pinpoint if it's upper colon, lower colon. He could pinpoint what it was, and these things can help manage that, which is crazy because I had just gone through 30-day cleanse for
Yep.
Candida.
And they found a parasite in you.
I was getting to that. Yeah, and a parasite cleanse and a heavy metal cleanse, and still he actually said that before I told him anything. He's showing me. He's like, well, this little black clump right here is evidence that a parasite was there and died. And then he showed me 3 or 4 other places on that blood sample that he's like, well, you had several parasites and they're dead. And I was like, good, the parasite cleanse worked. And then he scrolled down a little further and he goes, but you've gotten one since then.
Really?
So, and I'm a little irritated because Tim didn't have any.
And I thought I thought something was eating me up.
Yeah, I was like, Tim didn't have any parasites, but I still have one right now. After I did a 40-day fast last year in October, November, and then I've done fast since then, and I still have one even after a cleanse of 30 days.
Yeah.
So, man, parasites are just annoying. So,
and you have no clue where you got it from.
I don't know. I mean, we do have animals and livestock now, so it could have, who knows. But he told us ivermectin for that, which we already knew.
Yep.
Ivermectin's really good dewormer, and it's like they want to debunk that because it works, and it's been around for so long, and it's safe even for children.
And you get it at Tractor Supply.
And you can get it in Tractor Supply, but it's not measured out for human consumption doses. But I think some doctors now will prescribe it. So you just got to find a good doctor.
Yeah.
And if they won't prescribe ivermectin, then you have to question.
That's right.
You have to question. So the last thing was the ivermectin. And there's several other things on here, but we didn't have them. But if you guys were to do something like this, you might have a little different.
Yep. One thing I also want to add that I went today and had my blood drawn. And I did not tell the doctor that I've been fasting for 8 days. My blood sugar after the first or second day, it had kind of already, I knew what to do on the deal to keep my blood sugar from running upwards of 300 to 400. Is basically stay off the sweets and the sweet tea. And that's another thing he told me that blew my mind. I haven't went, I've went 8 days now without caffeine, no tea and no coffee.
That's good.
And that was something that was that I felt like that was helping me some.
Right.
You know, from the caffeine.
To get through anyway.
Yeah.
But it was really just
it was just basically, do you remember what he said about that?
I remember most of it. So he said all teas will take away your negative ion charge, so that makes your blood kind of clump together.
That's right.
All teas except green teas.
Yep.
And
so, I've got some green tea now.
Yeah, so some green teas are good, but all other teas will take away that negative charge. All sodas, all of those acidic and low alkaline or base drinks, that's coffees, things like that. All of these kinds of drinks that we love will take away that negative charge. And then they clump together, and then they do not, anything that's clumped in the blood will not deliver oxygen to the cells.
And that's why I'm so tired.
And that's why you're fatigued. It also said muscle pains and aches.
Yep.
And so if you can fix that, so each blood cell will move independently and freely, and it delivers the oxygen, you'll fix a host of issues. The doctors say, well, we don't know, but you can spend thousands of dollars on these.
That's right.
Whatever.
Now, doctors never cured anything.
No.
But I just wanted to give y'all an update. One thing I will tell you that I also do that helps me a little bit is I have found that if you do get hungry, the more water you drink, the better off you are. But I have been a little delusional lately. I'll see somebody that I haven't seen in a while, and I'll remember the last time we ate together.
Yeah.
So man, we was at this restaurant, so it's getting to me, but you know, I've made it further than I ever have before.
Yeah.
So I think that the deal with knowing what to do, knowing to, and I've had some huge events. Everybody cooking. This whole patio here was slammed full of food, and I just had to walk right by it because I thought that September the 1st was on Monday, and I had a cookout here on Sunday, and I had planned on eating.
And you could have eaten and started the fast the next day.
Yeah,
but you didn't. So
I wanted to keep it up. I wanted to keep up with that. I get to eat on October the 10th.
Mm.
So that's why I wanted to, you know, I keep up with the dates. But anyway, folks, this is what we wanted to share with you on the deal with the what we're doing with the podcast, putting everything together, and we got a lot of real touchy subjects that we're going to be exploring, let's say, here in the next few weeks, and y'all stay tuned. We're going to get to the bona fide truth. We're going to be transparent with you.
Yeah.
Y'all have a great day.